Hey, Jonathan here. Let's go ahead and understand the workflow to generate a CAD drawing from a 3D model in Archicad for complete beginners. Let's do this. The idea of CADing is that it's supposed to be a 2D drawing. And in Archicad, it is possible to do CADing one by one, but at the same time profiting from the fact that you might have started your design in 3D. In this tutorial, we will start with the house that we modeled in the modeling side, but keep in mind that this also works, for example, when you do a quick 3D model of your design and it's not really done properly, like it's a big mess. So this is the idea that you can just go ahead and draw on top of it. So let's start by assigning the workflow. So first up is we generate a 3D model, which could be this one, which is the one that we're going to use. But this perfectly well could have been a very rough model of a house that you want to do, maybe something like this. And then you kind of like open a wall and you open a drawing, and this could be your base for your CADing, all right? So imagine that this house that we're going to be using has this little detail on it, all right? So that's the first step. Step two is to generate a layout from it that we're going to draw up all of the drawings. Like we're basically going to generate the floor plan of the first floor, the second floor, the section. These are all sections coming straight from the model. Now keep in mind that in your case, this might look like this, or it might look like this, or it might have some sort of insecurities or parts of the model that are just not finished, or that are just wrongly drawn or wrongly modeled. Now our example is actually a bad example because it was done by someone who can model properly, but the idea is that we are here dealing with a very quick 3D model that we are doing as we are developing our first idea. So we're not expecting for this automatically generated drawing to be as pretty as it is. It's probably full of mistakes it's really full of extra lines that we don't need, extra lines that are coming from the 3D model, stuff like that it would be too cumbersome to go ahead and try to clean it up. So the best way is to draw on top of it. So once we generate all of these drawings, automatic drawings, we are going to prepare a layout. Now the layout it's going to look really messy. And I mean, the layout itself, the placement of the drawing is going to be correct so that you will have a proper understanding of what is it that you're going to draw. But the content itself, as you can see here, it's going to be completely messy and coming from a model that is not really properly made. All right, so after that, you should print that out in paper. All right, I'm not joking here. You have to print it out in paper and start thinking about which lines should be thick and which lines should be thin. Now, you will understand that in my course, everything can be done with 4 pens. A very thin pen, the next one, and then a little bit thicker, and then really thick. At the end, we name them 1, 2, 3, 4. So that not only we name them specifically, we also assign them different colors. So we have the red one, we have the green one. So sometimes we draw on the green one, and sometimes we draw on the lila one. So depending on the color, like for me, I already see a color, I already know if it's thin or thick. Once you've done that, it should look something like this. And where the thickness has an understanding, where the thickness has to do with where am I cutting, what is back, what is in front, as you probably already learned from the university. If you didn't, then feel free to go and check the actual lecture for this particular subject, which is how to draw into 2D CAD. The next step is to generate each pen, and then we will be drawing on top in CAD one by one using 2D CAD tools and 2D CAD modifiers and fills and whatnot to actually have a perfectly well done drawing that is made with computer aided design. But it's always going to be like this. You're always going to have like 4 colors, which mean 4 different line thicknesses. All right. Once you're finished, you should be able to sport a beautiful 2D drawing that looks like this. Before we get started, and part of the workflow is to take the time, which I will with you, to set up 4 pens in 2 different pen sets, okay? So to set the pen sets, we have to go to Document, Pen Sets, Pens and Colors. We're going to base ourselves into the 03 Architectural 100, and we're going to change these 4 pens right now. Okay, so listen carefully and let's go one by one. Feel free to pause the video so that you can do this precisely. It's a good time in your architectural or Archicad life to learn this once properly. Okay, let's go ahead and do the 241. We're going to change the pen weight to 0.05. We're going to call it 1 space non-built object and change its color to a green. Okay, there we go. The 242, we're going to change the pen weight to 0.13. We're going to call it 2, which are view lines of built objects. And the color is going to be magenta. Now it's a good time to stop, because if you don't save here, everything goes back. So if you press the escape button, you completely lose this information. So let's stop for a second and click on Architectural, click on Store As, then click on change its name to my first pen set color, meaning that the lines are going to have color in them, which are not for printing. It's for you to see which one has which thickness. Store, and then we have it. If we go back to the 100, you see they're gone. If you go back here, you'll see them there. So let's keep going. Let's go to 243. The pen weight is going to be a little bit thicker, 0.2. The description is going to be 3 because that's for us the pen 3. Cut line of non-load bearing build element. And the color is going to be cyan. The fourth one is a 244. We're going to change the pen weight to 0.35. The description is going to be 4 space cut line of load bearing build element, and the color is going to be blue. Now we store as, and in this case we do overwrite this pen set that we just created, which is my first pen set color. Overwrite. Now I have a pen set with where everything is in color. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to assign to this line the 241. It's going to be green. I'm going to assign this line the 242, which is going to be magenta. I'm going to assign this line the 243. It's going to be cyan. And this line the 244, which is going to be blue. If I zoom in, I'll see how the line thickness changes accordingly. All right. Now the problem here is that I cannot print this because it's colored. I needed black and white. So for that, we're going to do another pen set where the 4 pens are going to be black instead of color. Let's do that. Now we go back to the pen set, and then we are going to select the first one, hold down the shift key, and the last one. Now we have 4 of them selected. Now we can click on the color, select black, click OK, and then store as, and we're going to change its name to my first pen set print. Okay, now we have a pen set to print and a pen set to draw. We'll click OK. You can see how all of these are the correct line weight, but it's all black and white. Now for me to draw, it's very impossible for me to see this. So that is why if I change the pen set to color, then I will be able to see it. That way I will be able to quickly draw on top of a specific 3D model to properly generate the drawing that I want. For pens, for linear thickness, it's everything you need to have the perfect CAD drawing in architecture. That's it for the workflow. See you in the next one.